Good afternoon, everyone. So, guys, in the previous session, you have seen in EC2 Windows and Linux, we have created already the Linux machine, and on top of that, we have deployed one static application, right? By deploying your HTTPD server, or you can say the server, web server, right? On top of that, we have deployed our static application, correct? Which you have seen. Uh, One second, let me again go to the dashboard, guys. Let's go to the dashboard. Yeah, this is our instance, and let's start that instance. Yeah, so now you can see the public IP is visible for us, and if you try to open the application or the web website which we have deployed on in our HTTPD server, right? So this is the website, correct, guys? But in today's session, guys, we are going to see how you can make sure how you can put monitoring, right? Whether for your network, that is your VPC, or for your at a server level, or at a network level, or there are different types of monitorings are there, guys, right? Which is very, very important for us. So just try to understand in a layman language, like suppose you have constructed your house, you have done the boundaries and all and everything, right? But at last you have to put CCTV cameras for different areas, right? To monitor that one, correct? So same way here, if you have to monitor whether it's a log monitoring, whether it's your application monitoring, whether it's your server monitoring, or whether it's your not network monitoring, there are different types of monitorings are there, guys. So that is what we are going to place this monitoring right here only for this particular services which you have deployed in your cloud, guys, which is the last stage. As you can say, there are other things also which we can do it, right? But this is something which is very, very important. If you are working as a cloud engineer, or working as a Linux admin, or working as a DevOps engineer, right? So let's see first what all types of monitorings are there, guys. So if you talk about monitoring, so there are different types of monitoring is there. One is your infrastructure monitoring is there. Another one is your basically I would say it's going to be your APM monitoring. That is nothing but it's your application monitoring is there. The next one is your network monitoring is there. The another one is, since your database is also that which you need to monitor, it's different metrics which you have to monitor, guys, right? And as I said, logs is something which you need to get it, so that you will come to know what error you are getting for your network or your application or for your database, right? Same way, for cloud also there is something called cloud monitoring is there, right? And this is something which I need to tell you is that is something called SLA, guys, that is called service layer agreement. Okay, so this I'll explain. This also comes under monitoring only, correct? So apart from this, there are some other monitoring are also there, but these are the something which you need to remember every time when you are going for any of the role, because they are going to ask you what all types of monitoring tools you have worked on. So you should differentiate between these tools and right types of monitoring. So same thing I have written over here. So, as you see here, that there is something called infrastructure monitoring, guys, right? So, infrastructure monitoring is like which is mainly going to focus on your infrastructure. Like your infrastructure will be there, your servers will be there, your networks will be there, your hardwares will be there, right? So, you have to keep monitoring all these things. So, whenever I say metrics monitoring, okay, metrics could be for this infrastructure monitoring. It could be metrics is nothing but these are some of the components of that particular monitoring, guys. If I talk about your uh, process monitoring, or you can say like your system monitoring will be there, right? When you heard of CPU monitoring metrics, these are like, these are your metrics. For example, like your CPU is there, your memory is there, your disks uses will be there, your network bandwidth will be there, your uptime will be there. So these are called your metrics of your infrastructure monitoring, guys. You are getting my point. Suppose your CPU is high, right? So how you will come to know, okay, your CPU is utilizing so much of process it's consuming, right? It is in high, so you should get an alert for that one, right? If your memory is full, your RAM is full, okay, so obviously your process is going to be in hung state, right? So how you are going to monitor that one? Your disk is full, right? So you should have some kind of a tools in place which is going to monitor these metrics, guys. You are getting my point, yes or no?
Sir.
Correct. Like you can understand from a human body also, okay, so we don't know what is going on in our body, right? We don't know when the cholesterol will be high, when some diseases will be coming to our body. How you are going to monitor that one? So for that you have different set of ECG will be there, right? You will do blood tests and all, right? So after that, once they will, through ECG you will come to know, okay, how much exactly your heart rate and all, right? So you are monitoring your body, right? So why we are monitoring your body? So that your system should not collapse, correct? And the business you are operating, it should not impact, right? So if it is a business loss, obviously the revenue loss will be there, right? So obviously your application will be down, so you have, even if it's like 1 seconds and all, right? So there is a huge revenue loss. Obviously, if you don't do any kind of a monitoring or health checkups for your body, you will collapse, right? So this is why we have some set of monitoring in place. So these are those monitoring, guys. And when you talk about application monitoring, okay, so application monitoring is basically which performs an health application, ensuring that to detect some bottlenecks and the issues at the code level. Suppose you are running Tomcat, right? So you know that log4j is there. So at code level, when you try to deploy some of its libraries, some of its, right, into that particular directory or a path, but when you try to start the Tomcat, you are start getting error. So how you are going to monitor? Through logs only, right? So for that, guys, we have different types of monitoring. Application monitoring is there, that is app dynamics is there. This is the common tool you have heard many of the times. So please don't put everything into a single plate. No, whenever you heard of Splunk or Elk or Kivana, or you have Prometheus, no, go, these all are monitoring tools, but they have their own categories also. So this is why I have mentioned here that you should understand what all those categories are there. You have to identify that these are the types of tools. It's, don't put everything into a single plate, right? So no, if it is monitoring, then Splunk will also do the same thing, Elk will also do the same thing. Then what is the point of learning these different tools? So the point here is you have to understand why we are categorizing them into a different category. So the reason behind that one, when I talk about infrastructure monitoring, then you should think of your Zabbix, your Nagios, your Prometheus and all, right? Which is going to give your metrics utilization for your, like, how much is CPU is used, how much memory is used, how much disk is used, how much network bandwidth is used, how, what is the uptime and all. So you will come to know by use of these tools and all, right? So and the next thing is, guys, when you talk about application monitoring, so if somebody is going to ask you, have you done application monitoring, they immediately, when you see, yes, I have done with app dynamics, then that guy will understand, no, this guy know what is a app dynamics is all about, because it's for application monitoring, guys. And since you say in app dynamics, what all things, what all metrics we are going to monitor? So it's going to be your response time, error rates, database query performance, API call performance, application throughput and all. So what is the response time you are getting for your application? What is the, when you are executing a query of a database, it's taking more time to execute. to fetch the details from your database, right? So how you are going to monitor those things with the help of App Dynamics or Dynatrace? Have you guys heard of these tools?
जी सर, जस्ट नहीं न्यू relic आपका एक है, one of the
Correct.
like Dyna.
Dynatrace. So you should know, by knowing also you should know so many things, right? But when you say I don't know anything, then that guy will say what all the metrics it's monitor. Then immediately when you see, so when you say that okay, it's monitor the response times, the error rates, the data query performance and all, API call performance and all, then that guy will understand this guy have worked on that tool. Understanding my point? Right? So same way guys, there are some monitoring tools are there, network monitoring tools are there. These are basically, it's going to monitor at a switch level, switches, firewalls and all, right? This is more related to a network team, but just wanted to, for your information, I have put it over here that you should also know what all types of network monitoring tools are there. Like PRTG is there, it's a network monitoring tool. Wireshark is there, Solar Wind is there, right? This is also a network monitoring tool. So what all metrics it is? So whenever somebody is talking about metrics, so metric doesn't mean only its CPU, its disk or memory or uptime and all. The matrix means the components of that monitoring. Means for network monitoring it is packet loss, latency. You wanted to see why there is a, when you try to connect, right, to that particular server, it's taking more time to connect, right? That is what called latency. Packet loss, when you try to connect, in between how many packets are getting lost, why the connectivity is slow, right? Bandwidth utilization, how much bandwidth you are using, device status, network traffic and all. So these are the monitorings which is going to used under these tools only, whether it's a Wireshark or whether it's a Solar Wind or you can say PRTG. So same way, we know about this one, right? Database monitoring, right? So for database also, there are some monitoring metrics are there. Like suppose when you are executing a query, so you should, it's taking query response time. So if you are executing a select query, if you are executing a update query, it's taking more time. How you are going to monitor what is the issue with the database? So you should put some kind of a tools over there. Database log, connection count, right? Read write operation, right? So for which all tools? So for database, we have something called MySQL Workbench, SolarWind Database Performance Analyzer, Percona. You have heard of this tool, Percona monitoring, right? Have you
Yes,
heard
sir.
of this tool, Percona? I think most of you have heard of in term of database case, right? So, but what all metrics we are going to monitor? So, if you answer like this in interview, na, that guy will understand. This guy know, he has knowledge. So, if I'll say, okay, when you mention only some tool, fine. You have mentioned Percona. When he is going to ask you, what do you mean? Have you worked on Percona? So then when you say yes sir, I know about Percona, it's basically to measure your it's some of the metrics like your query response time, database logs and all. Then that guy will understand, yes, he has worked on. Like this you have to answer. You have to narrow down the answer. Correct? So, same way, guys, we have something called log monitoring, which is very famous. Log monitoring is something like you have heard of. Why we do log monitoring? This is the most important which you need to know, like collect and analyze the log data from various sources. It could be your application, it could be your infrastructure, it could be network services. I'm not telling log monitoring is only for the application monitoring. Who told you? No, log can be from anywhere, from your application, from your network, right? From your infrastructure and all, right? So on the basis of that logs only, you are going to troubleshoot. Whether you have to find out the error, like when you search in var log, right? You will come to know, okay, where inside var logs, why the system is getting rebooted, correct? Which all users have been logged in, right? through the logs only, right? So that logs is using for troubleshooting, auditing, and detecting anomalies. What is the issue? So, and which all tools are there? Splunk you have heard of. Elk is there, that is Elasticsearch, Logstacks, and Kibana. Greylog is there. And what all types or what all metrics are they are going to monitor, guys, in this one? That is log volume, error log, system events, application logs. Understanding my point? Yes or no? Am I audible, guys?
Yes, sir.
So you
Yes, sir.
should know, you should categorize thing properly. Then only you will come to know, okay, no, these many tools are there, guys, right? Now just cloud monitoring is there. Why we do cloud monitoring? So monitor the health and performance of your cloud services, because there are different services are there, right? EC2 is one of the service, right? Correct. Cloudwatch is one of the service, right? Correct. S3 is one of the service, right? So there are different services, guys, right? And resources to monitor includes monitoring scalability, availability, and cost optimization. Why this is important, right? So what all tools? Now we are in today's session, we are going to talk about this CloudWatch only, and I am going to show you how we can integrate this CloudWatch for your existing this one, for your existing this particular Linux VM which we have already created, and on top of that we have deployed our static application or static website, right? This one, okay. So how we are going to monitor this one with the help of your CloudWatch, guys? How we can use CloudWatch? Because cloud service provider also give you. It's not only Splunk or Kibana or sorry or Elk is there, right? Or different tools are there. But cloud service provider also like Azure is there, or GCP is there, or you can say this AWS is there. They also provide some kind of a monitoring tools. What all those monitoring tools are there? So those are like AWS CloudWatch. In CloudWatch, so but the only problem with CloudWatch, it doesn't do any memory monitoring, guys. This is the disadvantage. This is why people used to move to Prometheus, Grafana, or Elk, or Splunk, and there are different type of open source monitoring tools are there, right? So Azure also we have monitoring tool like Microsoft Azure Monitor we use to monitor different types of monitoring, guys, for your cloud monitoring. So we have in GCP, Google Cloud, we have Google Cloud Operation Suite. So now you guys will remember. And why we do this monitoring, what all metrics it's going to monitor? It's basically it's going to monitor your cloud resource uses, latency, cost analysis, application performance in the cloud, how your application is going to perform in that particular cloud, or the virtual private cloud which, or the data center which you have created for your own purpose. Okay, so guys, these are the different types of tools which you have to remember. Okay, and there is something called SLA, but I will come to this one last. Okay, now listen very, very carefully. What do you mean by IAM? So, in AWS, Amazon Web Services, we have roles and policies are the key components of our identity and access management. Identity means what? I am a identity. Abhishek Roshan is an identity. But who is going to prove that Abhishek Roshan is an identity? My Aadhaar card, my PAN card, yes or no? How I am going to prove myself I am Abhishek Roshan? Though I am an identity, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Sayantan is an identity,
Yes,
but
sir.
how you are going to prove that this is? Suppose you have your own house, you have built your house, but what is the proof that that is your house? You should have some kind of a documentation. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
So that
Agree.
documentation is nothing but that is your policies. Abhishek is a role, friends. To watch complete video, please type in Google Abhishek Roshan. Just press enter. So you can see my icon and this is HTTPS. Just click on Abhishek Roshan. So it will redirect you to my website where my app is also available in the Android, right? So you can download the app from Play Store. If you click on this one, you will be able to download and install Engineer Abhishek Roshan app. This is my logo. You can understand from here. Else, you can directly come over here, right? And you can buy my courses. Just click on courses. So the same course or the same video what you are watching in YouTube, the complete video is available in my 100 days of IT corporate bootcamp, my friend. Okay, the complete series is available. You can click on this one and you can buy this course, my friend. Right. So like this, you can buy the course and also you can install Engineer Abhishek Roshan app. So, guys, I am ending up the session here only. Thank you for staying connected with me. Let's connect again for the next topic. Till then, just take care of yourself, your loved one. Bye bye, and Jai Hind.